Todd, it was a hard-fought win. What do you like about that performance?
Oh, I think some of our good patches are very good. And then we extended those longer than we have this season. And then we've still got some bad patches we've got to eradicate. And less of them will be much more enjoyable.
Have you been able to diagnose what happens when you're sort of 20-0 up and it drops off?
Try against the run and play, and then not a lucky try, but they competed and out-jumped Drinky, and then the sin binning just turned the game on its head, and we're on the back foot for the next, 15, 20 minutes. Had to fight really hard to win momentum back and gained it, but a couple of tries that were left at the end left a sour taste in my mouth.
On that sin bin, do you think there was anything to answer for?
Absolutely not. It wasn't a hip drop for a start, so I'm gobsmacked at the interference from the bunker in that situation. I don't know what a rugby league player is supposed to do when they're going for a try and he lunges at their legs, and he's going to land on their legs. I've got no doubt that where he's going to land, but it's not a hip drop. And our game has tried to stamp out the hip drop where there are two guys standing in the tackle or a guy standing in the tackle and they lose their legs and land on the legs. Textbook David Clemmer in the second half, and nothing happened. Bunker has every right to interfere then, right, and get the call right. We lose 1 for 10, and that's the inconsistency annoys the crap out of me, the players, our members and our fans of the game.
Do you think players, Toddy, are confused going week in, week out with what a hip drop actually is?
Every time it goes into a bunker situation, I get nervous, really nervous. I'm sure the players feel the same, because the sin binning just changes the complex of the game, and it's so hard to wrestle back momentum. I know sides can do it, but you burn a lot of juice. If it happens early in the game, it's going to catch up with you in the back end, and then if you concede 2 tries in that period, the game's pretty well gone. And with all the camera angles, they can't be getting that right, or wrong, sorry, and amongst other calls as well. It's just so frustrating.
Do you think it's moments like that, or do you think it's something else that's preventing you from getting that, as you've sort of talked about all season, that consistent 80 minutes from the boys?
Yeah, we've got ourselves to blame in parts of it, absolutely. I'm not shying away from some of the work we need to do to get it right, but the bunker and the sin being frustrated the hell out of me.
What about the bloke next to you, your co-captain, Tommy Dearden? And we know some phone calls going to be made over the next couple of days. And in the Origin arena, is he the man that you reckon? I know you're a New South Welshman, but is he the man you reckon is going to be the right man?
I'd love to have him to play next week for the Roosters. He got the job done there last year. He's been our best top 3 players every round. He epitomises what Queensland's about our club. Epitomises that. He competes, and he hasn't let him down, so he should be there. Absolutely.
Tom, after Tigers get back with the 4 points, what was said to sort of regain control of the game?
We just wanted to get back into doing the right parts of the game well, and we knew that if we could kick well and put the Tigers coming out of their own end, we could get the momentum back, and that was what was said, and that was our main focus with trying to win it back.
Speaking of Origin, just circling back, there has been a lot of chit-chat about you and about next week. How have you been feeling about it all?
Well, it doesn't really worry me too much. I think my focus has been in trying to get our season back on track here at the Cowboys, and as much as I'd certainly love to be a part of that squad again, I think the decision's in Billy's hands, and I know that he'll make the decision based on what he thinks is best for Queensland.
Ruben mentioned earlier in the week you guys tried a more simple training scheme. Do you think that worked with trying to find a bit more consistency, or will you be trying something different next week?
I think Toddy pretty well summed it up. We've got to do the parts that we're doing well for a lot longer and be so much more consistent with it. And I think it's pretty simple with just getting down the field and kicking the corners, and then being disciplined with our defence. And I think the longer periods we can do that, the better we are. And I think at the moment when we get out of that period of having that momentum, we're pretty poor. So that's where we need to fix up.
Toddy, your bench rotation, something that you've worked on throughout the year. You're pretty happy with where it's at because purely number-wise, we're seeing the numbers Griffin Eames punching out, and in particular, Jason Taumalolo off the bench seems to have found a home.
Yep. Yeah, we always look at it. I think the bench rotation's been pretty consistent the last few weeks. Everyone's contributing, whether they're coming off the bench or starting matches. Griff's improving week after week. Jace has found a bit of rhythm. I think Tommy McKaylee added a bit of spark to us as well, and I think Sammy McIntyre, again, today he played in centres for a period while Val was off. He played in the edge back row for 2 sets. And then, through the middle, he's so safe and moves well. So, yeah, some of our lads, or all of our lads, are doing some good stuff.
Jeremiah's found his try scoring form again after a pretty slow year last year. What do you think's changed in the last 12 months for him?
Couldn't answer that at the moment. He's finding a lot of ball. He's getting some more involvements. Having Chad and some good, clear communication inside him helps. And there's no question about his attacking ability.
You brought in Braden Burns, who did an outstanding job last week. Probably a kid that might be flying under the radar. Viliami Vailia. Last couple of weeks of footy, probably his best in the NRL. Probably easy to forget too. He's only 21 still.
Yeah, he's only a baby. I've mentioned it before. He's really, really talented. He understands. He's got a good footy nous. He's smart defensively. He's got great skill. He's got good feet, and he's big and strong. So it took him a while to get himself fit, and then the Q Cup and step up to NRL. It was a big one. It took him 2 weeks, and now he's finding some rhythm, some form. Expect him to get better.
You and Benji obviously won a premiership together and have played. Have you had a chance to have a chat with him, maybe get a beer?
I had himself, Heino and Robbie Farrow for dinner on Wednesday, so it was pretty low-key, couple of beers, family was there, so yeah, it was good to catch up with them. I think they're doing a decent job. They're competing their rings off, Last week they were 18-12 down. They spent, a chunk of the game down to 11 men. And after 70 minutes, it was 18-12. I know the score blew out today and last week, but, if you're looking to support a team, you want them to fight, and I think they're fighting hard. They're just falling short.
This year, NRL on 9 is your one-stop shop for all footy.
That's right, Freddie. Not about the highlights. Action. 7 days a week.
Billy and Gus podcast, get that on your drive on the way home. Immortal Behaviour. Grab a seat on the couch for that. And, of course, my favourite, Freddie in the 8.
The best footy brains, the biggest games.
Don't trust the algorithm. Subscribe to NRL on 9 and get all your entertainment there.